And I've already said, but I'll welcome again. This is the Combined Governance and Audit Committee, Committee for Monday the 1st of December. This recording will be broadcast on the authority's website and may be used for training purposes by the Democratic Services Department. Turn to the agenda. Item 1, apologies for absence. I think we've had a few. Number 2, any declarations of interest? There are none. And I'll go to the item 3 on the agenda, and that's the Revenue Budget 225 to 26 Transformation Programme Report. Consider the report of the Director of Finance, and it's pages 5 to 10. Who's taking this report?
It's me, Chair.
Okay, thank you, Anna. Carry on.
Thank you. As approved by Council on the 5th of March 2025, the 25-26 budget included a requirement to identify £354,000 of in-year savings, and this report confirms that those savings have been achieved through a series of budget requirements considered manageable by the Director of Finance. This work connects to the launch of our transformation programme, which is structured around 6 key work streams, such as digital and customer, culture and workforce, financial resilience, good governance, data and partnership working. These streams have been identified and are designed to deliver sustainable financial outcomes while stabilising or improving service delivery for residents and staff. The transformation programme itself will be delivered across multiple years, and this report focuses on specific savings for this financial year, with full figures and relevant rationale listed at Appendix 1. Members will note that this meets the full £354,000 requirement to deliver all necessary in-year savings for 25-26. So this forms an important step in addressing the immediate financial requirement and also sets the foundation for tackling the projected budget deficit in 26-27. Thank you.
Thank you, Anna. Now then, pages 5 to 10. Any questions? No questions? Or Ian Thomas? Councillor Ian Thomas?
Thank you, Chair. Just a small question on page 9, where there's been a reduction in the temporary accommodation budget, quite considerable. And the comment there is that there's been a reduction in demand for temporary accommodation. But I've seen other reports saying that the demand for housing is going up quarter by quarter. So I was just wondering how the two things is probably something I'm missing there.
Chair, would you like me to come in and answer that?
Yes, please.
So thank you, Councillor Thomas. So essentially, those figures are the reduction since the COVID figures were at an all-time high, and obviously the team has worked hard to reduce the temporary accommodation requirement down. That's why there's been that reduction. But obviously, you are correct also in saying that our ongoing housing pressure is still continuing. It's just the extremely high TA demand we had has reduced.
Right, thank you very much. Thanks.
Okay. Any other questions on pages 5 to 10? No? If not, any comments on any of the pages 5 to 10? No comments? And we will take a vote on this report, pages 5 to 10. All those in favour, please show. And those against? Make sure all your hands are down first before you. Any against? Any abstentions? That is carried. We go on to item 4 on the agenda it's the 2025-26 Q2 performance risk and finance report, and it's considered the report of the Director of Finance and Director of Governance and Resources, and it's pages 11 to 112. Who's going to take us through this report?
Chair, myself, Councillor Declan Salmon.
Okay, thank you, Councillor Salmon.
Thank you, Chair.
Carry on.
Thank you very much. The Q2 Performance Risk and Finance Report 2025-2026 is a very lengthy report and has been compiled by Andrew Mogford, James Hopwood and Louise Ballinger. For greater transparency, finance, performance and risk processes are now presented together with other relevant data and information in one report for members to assess, question and provide constructive feedback on the local authority's current performance. All council departments will be able to use the data within these reports to improve their performance and ultimately the performance of the local authority, whilst they should also have scrutiny committees to plan their forward work programmes. Although this approach isn't new, the local authority hadn't done it for quite a while, and this is the Q2 report for the 2025-2026, following on for the Q1 report, which was presented at the Sustainable Merthyr Tydfil Scrutiny Committee on the 16th of September. To show the local authority's commitment to improvement, this Q2 report is being presented here today to a larger audience made up of the Governance and Audit Committee and the Joint Scrutiny Committee. It should also be noted the following members' comments at the presentation of the Q1 report in September. Relevant directors or officers were asked to be present here today to answer questions. There's a huge amount of information included within this report and its 6 appendices, although some members may have already seen some of the information previously as part of the membership of other committees. If members have any questions regarding specific directorates, there are directors and officers here today who will be able to give answers. Thank you, Chair.
Okay, thank you, Councillor Salmon. It's a pretty hefty report with a lot of detail, and it's pages 11 to 112. Questions? If it's possible to avoid going back and forth, I'll go to the overarching report. Any questions at page 11, 12 and 13? No? Then from pages 15 onwards, if it's possible to start with the lower pages first, so that's either 15, 16. Anybody got any questions starting with page 15? $16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. No questions? Then we're on to the corporate risk report, Q2, as it's dated October, page 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, page 33, 34, 35, and 36. 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57. We now on to the performance monitoring report, corporate level KPIs, page 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, page 67, 68, 69, 70. Now we're on to the finance budget monitoring report, Q2, 25-26, page 71, 72, 73, 74, 75. I've got a question on 75, and that's relating to, I think it's halfway down the page there, the number of units at St Cydbwyllgor Shopping Centre. Can somebody answer me on that particular point as to the fact that units are empty, we're not getting any income? What are we doing to encourage these units to be let? Who's going to answer that question?
Chair, I'll come in again if you want.
Yes.
So obviously we work with Cook and Archwilio as our specialists in this area, and there is a marketing and recruitment strategy that they operate in terms of trying to attract new tenants into the shopping centre. My understanding, obviously, paired with the market or the future market opening, we do have some additional interest in terms of people wanting to come to the into the town centre now. But obviously we can give, obviously this is backward looking, so we can give a further update when we've got up-to-date information, if you wish. We can circulate that to members as we get that next update from the service.
Yes, thanks. I think I would be interested in, and some other members as well would be. Thank you for that. And in the same paragraph, it refers to the bus station is also facing a 78,000 overspend as planned deficiencies in security costs are not anticipated to be achieved. Could you explain to me, whoever's going to answer the question, exactly what that means? Because it's talking about referring to security costs.
Yeah, I think Craig is probably best placed to answer that. Chair.
Okay, thanks. Craig?
Thank you, Chair. Yes, as part of the previous budget rounds, there was an efficiency saving identified for security costs. That contract has now been retendered, and the savings that were expected to be achieved are not deliverable. So that is why the overspend has been reported as per page 75 of the report.
So there's a new contract now being secured, is that correct?
Yes, that contract has been awarded now, so that is being worked through with regards to the security at the bus station, security requirements.
And was that fairly recently, in the last few weeks?
Yes, yeah, that has been completed the last couple of
So
weeks.
from here on, we won't be overspending?
No, the contract's been awarded, and when that contract now against the budget will be analysed, we'll be reporting in Q3 the outturn position, but it will continue to be an overspend. Those savings haven't been achieved.
Okay, cheers, thanks. No other questions at page 75? Not page 76? Any questions there? If not, I've got a question there in relation to Lifeline. It seemed from reading this report that the Lifeline, there's a lot less people applying for the Lifeline, or are people dropping out of Lifeline? I'm not quite certain. Can somebody give me an answer on that particular point?
I can take that question, Chair.
Right.
It's a bit of both, really. Obviously, we're transferring across from Android to digital. There has been a drop-off in relation to the take-up on that basis, and we are seeing less numbers taking up the service. So we are looking at all opportunities with regards to providing the service to RSLs, outside of the county borough and within, to provide that arrangement.
So work's ongoing to try and redress that and encourage people to be on the Lifeline, because it's really a very important and vital service to a lot of people.
Yes, we continue to do marketing. We market on social media. We attend the town centre hub with regards to the service that is available for the residents of Merthyr Tydfil, in order to promote the take-up of, as you say, the Lifeline service.
Okay, thank you, Craig. No other questions on page 76?
Chair,
yeah, sorry.
Martin Veal, Chair of the Governance Audit Committee, has got a question.
Thank you. Thank you, Chair. Just a wider question really about the whole section here about these variances. We're currently saying that overall is going to be a net projected deficit for the year of £500,000, which I think is a big chunk of change. How firm is that projection? Is that a worst case? Is it a best case? How reasonably assured are we that it won't get any higher than that? And actually, how are we funding that simply through reserves this year? Thank you.
Isn't that Craig?
Yes, please. Yes, Chair, I'll take that. We have assurance, obviously, that is an accurate position as of the end of Q2. We have provided an instruction to our senior leadership team with regards to non-essential expenditure and challenge all types of expenditure in that relation in order to have, remedy the overspend position. But we continue to monitor with regards to the projected outturn, and further updates will be provided at the end of Q3.
Okay, thanks for that, Craig. That was month 6. We've just passed the end of month 8 now. Anything that you're aware of that's changed since these numbers were produced?
No significant change to report at the moment. So we are exploring all opportunities around challenging non-essential spend and any other opportunities around grant maximisation and other avenues to bring back the budget into a balanced or surplus position by the end of the financial year.
Thank you.
Okay, Martin. Any other questions then on that page. If not, we're on to page 77, page 78, page 79. And now we're on the appendices, page 80, page 81, page 82, page 83, page 84, page 85. I'm going to read my own writing here now. Well, you answered it's in relation to the St. Edward's Shopping Centre. It reads there, vacant properties have led to additional NNDR costs and reduced income. Income is also reduced in the market as the stallholders are paying a reduced rate. This should improve when the new market is open. I think from what I've heard, that the new market is due to open very shortly. In fact, this month. Is that the case?
Yeah. So yes, Chair, it's imminent. I haven't got an exact date at the moment because I know they were looking at that based on the completion, but it is within a matter of days, I think.
So, well, further question. I don't know if the stalls are going to be there. Have they all been let at this stage?
I'm not sure if they've all been let because obviously some of the new traders are coming in the new year, but obviously the take up from the previous indoor market, the transfer of that is lined up, but obviously it's a larger quantum of spaces overall. So I'm not sure if we're fully occupied at this moment in time, but again, we can get an update to members.
Right, and still staying on that area there and under paragraph 3, it goes on to say, a projected overspend on electricity costs and repairs and maintenance. There are limited maintenance budgets aligned to the shopping centre, which will continue to result in overspends against the budget until the future redevelopment of the shopping centre. So there's 2 questions for me. One is the electricity costs. We've got a very good engineering section that is doing great work on reducing expenditure on utilities. Have they been involved in reducing the electricity costs? And if there are limited maintenance budgets, that seems to tell me that there's very few repairs being carried out there. So there's 2 separate questions there. Whoever's going to answer it.
So I'll let others come in a moment, if I may, Chair. But the asset we took over from the previous owners had not had a huge amount of investment in terms of repairs and maintenance for a significant amount of time. So ultimately, there is a high overhead still in terms of required repairs. Obviously, we're trying to manage that as best we can, but obviously, as the report there suggests, that actually solving some of these ongoing maintenance issues will only come out through redevelopment. So we are making do and mending at the moment, but obviously that is a challenge with regards to having a budget allocation for the level of required maintenance support on it. In terms of the staff being involved with regards to managing down the electricity consumption, yes, our officers have been involved in that, but obviously in terms of I can't give an accurate position in terms of where we are in terms of the electricity overspend at the moment, but I can certainly come back to you when I've spoken to relevant officers in respect of that.
Yes, I think that in respect to the electricity costs, we got officers who could deal with that and have done so right across the authority. I would have thought that we would have been using those officers to reduce those costs a while ago. Any other questions on page 85? If not, go to page 86.
Yeah, I think you've got two people who want to come in.
All right, okay. All right. Councillor David Hughes.
Yeah, Chair. With the repairs, the price on repairs, when we took over the running of the business, we obviously had a survey done of the business. Was it brought up then that there was extensive repairs needed when we actually bought it, Ellis?
Yeah, so I think there were issues identified in the lapse report when we had it, Councillor. But I think the ongoing challenge that's presented, what we've discerned from the relevant services is that some of these issues will only be fundamentally solved by the redevelopment of the site, not ongoing patching. Especially in terms of the fabric of the building, when you can only patch the roof so many times when it's fundamentally needs replacing. That's essentially where we are at the moment. Obviously, we're looking at plans to permanently solve some of this, but obviously it's going to have to be done in sections and over a longer period.
Yeah, because I'll be honest, so I frequently go up to that market, and to see them, they got plastic things catching water in them, so they got to empty them every day. So can imagine what it's like today in the weather.
Yes. No, absolutely. So we're trying to manage that, and obviously with the opening of the new market and the moving of the traders, then obviously that will be fundamentally dealt with in a different way then, in terms of closed off and until it can be redeveloped, it's a problem half solved in terms of supporting the tenants out of the way.
Lovely, thank you, Ellis.
Okay, David Chaplin.
Yeah, thank you, Chair. Only a quick clarification on the new market. Are there going to be toilet facilities there? Because there are in the old market, and they're well used, and especially with there's going to be a cafe there.
Who's going to answer that?
So I to be honest, Jay, I'll have to come back to you because I haven't been in the new revised provision yet. So I'm assuming there are, but I'll have to just double check and come back to you.
Right. The second one for clarification. Obviously, the old market, it's going to be redeveloped. Do we know what the plans are for redevelopment?
Yeah, so there are no plans at this moment in time in respect of that part. Obviously, this isn't part of this report, Chair, but obviously just to answer the question, in terms of the wider redevelopment, it'll be done over a number of years.
Yeah, because there are opportunities for income if that was to be let out to something. Yeah.
I think that, as I've been trying to explain, Chair, the problem we've got is in terms of the money required in terms of the fabric or parts of that structure may outweigh the potential offset income that may be received if alternate use for now. So I think the initial plan with regards to the upstairs market, when fully vacated, is to just close that off for now.
Okay, thank you very much.
Councillor Anna Williams-Price.
Thanks, Chair. I was just going to come back in on David's point just to assure that there are toilets planned in the new market, so that those will be in place when it's functioning.
Thank you, Councillor Williams-Price. I just didn't want to give the wrong answer there. Thank you.
No worries.
Okay. Any other queries on that page? 85? No. Page 86, 87, 88, 89, page 90. Now we're on to the Capital Budget Monitor Report, Quarter 1 and 2. It's dated November this year. Page 91, 92, page 93. On page 93, right in the middle of the page, there is a block there which talks about the original capital program and the revised capital program. And if you look onto the towards the bottom of that, it's got miscellaneous schemes, and that amounts to 2,155,000. I always get a bit wary when I see the word miscellaneous and the figure of that size. Can somebody tell me what are the large amounts in there that make up miscellaneous schemes? There must be a few big ones in there, but I don't know. Yeah.
Jay, if you move forward a couple of pages to page 97, they're all broken down on that page.
Right. I probably read it, but that was my original note. Okay. Right. Nothing else on page 93, 94, 95. On page 95, under education, the PRU extension, the current budget there was for 400,000 cost. I noticed that has gone up, revised budget, it's more than doubled, an extra £428,000. Can somebody tell me why it's doubled?
I'll take that, Chair.
Thank you.
There was
Thank
an
you,
issue. There was an issue with a wall, a structurally bearing wall at the side of the guest keen club, which actually collapsed, which we had to actually manage, and we had to rebuild. So it actually meant that the cost of the project significantly improved, because it significantly increased, because that wall was I think it was a listed wall, or there were certainly complications with that wall, which wasn't which obviously we didn't expect to happen at the beginning.
So is it a very expensive wall then?
Yes, and it caused an awful lot of problems.
Right. Okay.
If I can just come in as well there, Chair, it's also with regards to reprofiling of spend with regards to the project. So that's the original budget, but any budget that was rolled over from the previous year would obviously be incurred this year then, and is reported in this report.
Okay. And just at the bottom there, that page, physical regeneration program, the Cyfarfod heritage area, the current budget was 500,000. That's been projected outturn of just under 1.5 million. Is that something that wasn't foreseen at the time of the original estimates of 500,000?
Again, it's regarding the reprofiling of spend from previous year into this financial year.
Right.
So that would have been budget allocated in previous years, which hasn't been spent in that particular year, and an approved roll forward. So it gives more spending power this year, and it's just profiling of spend.
Okay, thanks very much. That explains it. Nothing else on page 95. 96. Anything on page 96? And again, there's obviously an explanation for this. Under land and buildings, the Trialis Library refurbishment, that was estimated 360,000, but that's now reprofiled at 658,000. Was that because I understand the Trialis Library is a listed building?
Yes, it is, Chair.
And so again, we were talking about nearly doubling the cost there, but I presume that as they were doing the work, other things were identified that needed either repair, replacement. as they were going through the work? Is that the way it happened?
There would have been issues that were raised actually at you as the fact that it was a grade 2 listed building, actually moving forward with that. So there were complications again with the build, yes, Chair.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions on page 96? No? Page 97?
Chair, Councillor David Hughes has got his hand up.
Right. Okay, thank you. Councillor Hughes.
Yeah, Clive, Chair, wondered, I'm looking on the list for you now about repairs. I don't see Pant, the Pondstick Road from Pant is not on there. Is that being factored in for the finances for that? What if
Who's going to answer?
Tell me?
Yeah, who's going to answer that?
That project is a grant-funded project. So the page 95 to 96 is regarding core-funded capital program,
Right.
and then for that is in the later part of the report, or will be in subsequent reports when there is funding and spend in that area.
So there's no money allocated for that then, Craig. Is that correct?
That's being funded,
That's
Councillor
insane.
Hughes, from additional grant funding from Welsh Government to do those works.
So we haven't a grant for that, are we?
So
Are we guaranteed to have a grant for that?
I'd have to check that back with the head of engineering and highways, if I can come back to you offline.
Yeah, of course. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Thank you, Craig.
Any other, where am I by? Page 97. Any questions there? Page 98. Page 99. Page 100. 101. 102. 103. And on 103, the first block there, engineering and transport infrastructure. There's amendments and the projected outturn. No, I beg your pardon, wrong one. Housing and corporate. Sorry, housing and corporate is the bottom one. That was originally estimated for just over £1 million, and the projected outturn is 7.5 million. Can someone explain what that entails?
Again, Chair, that would be rollover and additional grant funding being allocated and received during the year, with it, which would be able to take forward capital projects around that area.
Right. So it's grant funding that we weren't anticipating that we've had since that was originally estimated.
Yes, partly that, and as I say, partly rollover of budget.
And rollover. Okay. Thanks. Anything else on 103? Page 104. 105. There's one there. Number 20. You go down the page and that's the Dowlais Library roof. I hope that's holding up today with the monsoon that we're having. But it says, due to internal capacity issue, this scheme has been postponed. So I presume the repair to the Dowlais Library roof is not urgent. Is that the case?
That has been assessed as something that, due to internal capacity, we're unable to take forward. I think committees, various committees, have considered the capacity issue that we face within the property services, and we're looking to address. But in this particular area, hasn't been taken forward due to that issue.
Right. But the capacity you're talking about is you're looking at, we haven't got sufficient staff in property services. That's correct, isn't it?
That's correct, Chair. As I say, that's been picked up in various reports that we brought forward, the asset management plan being one of them,
Yeah.
where we've identified capacity as an issue within property services, and we're looking at that as we go forward.
Okie doke, thank you. Page 106, 107, 108, 109, 110, 111, 112. Now that is the full report for the Q2 performance, risk and finance. So we've reached the final page there. Are there any comments on that report?
Councillor David Hughes would like to come in, Chair, I think.
Yeah, Councillor Hughes.
Wait, you went a bit quick for me, Clive. On Pengan Z, the extra cost of material.
Yes, go on, sorry.
So we had an estimate for that about 4 years ago. It was 1.8 million, which we put aside. But I can't stand. It said that 275,000 extra for a material, more than what they estimated for. Is that right, Dennis?
Yeah, Chair, can I come in there? Yeah, so you are right, Councillor. So given the inordinate length of time this is taken, the cost of disposal has increased over we're almost up to 7 years since I think this issue actually started. There's still issues with permitting, which we've tried to assist with, but there's still a constant back and forth between the contractor and NRW. We're hopeful. So whilst clearance has, a lot of clearance has been undertaken, not the total clearance. There's still permitting issues which are still ongoing, but the calculations and the estimates, which obviously we had tonnage estimates on some of the larger mounds, as obviously the more work has gone on, they've got a more accurate understanding of the actual quantum in them. So that, hence the uplift required there in terms of the disposal.
Okay, thank you, Ernest. Thank you.
So just to say though, we have somebody independently verifying in terms of the waste disposal, in terms of the tonnages. We've used a contractor to support that. So it's not just the person with the contract saying, yeah, this is what it is. It is verified as it goes.
Okay, Councillor Geraint-Thomas.
Yeah, just a general question really on this report. Will we see another one of these prior to the budget set in March for the third quarter?
Who's answered? Craig or Ellis?
Yeah, Councillor Thomas, yeah, the third quarter report will be produced for both finance, risk and performance, and that will be presented, I think, there's a committee, this type of committee coming in January, so that'll be before the budget setting process is complete.
Okay, Councillor Thomas.
Yeah, thanks, Chair. Thanks, Chair.
Okay. Right. If there's no other questions on or any general questions, any comments on the report pages 11 to 112? No one's indicated I can see that wants to make a comment. So having dealt with the questions and comments, I'm asking you now to vote. All those in favour of the report, please show.
Chair, are we just voting for to be noted and discussed?
Yes. Whatever it says originally, yes.
I'm not sure I'm for the report, but I you know, to say to note and discuss, yes.
Yeah, that's correct. Thank you. You can all put your hands down. Councillor Tevi, you still got your hand up. Thank you. Anyone against? Any abstentions? That is agreed. Right. Item 5, this is the budget 26-27 and the medium-term financial plan update report. And it's pages 113 to 130. Craig?
Chair, I'll introduce the report. Thank you.
Oh, sorry. I just assumed it was Craig. Carry on.
That's okay. So a version of this report was presented to Council in November's meeting, and members will be aware that the economic context continues to present significant challenges. And while inflation has eased slightly, it remains above target, and pay pressures, energy costs and demand for services are all contributing to a projected budget gap of 5.619 million for 26-27. So we are continuing public consultation and our work to update our planning assumptions. And this report outlines the key factors influencing the budget, such as pay awards, national insurance funding and capital financing costs. It also sets out our approach to closing that 5.6 million gap. And we will continue to prioritise transformation, but recognise that in the short term this may not be sufficient given the scale of the challenge. And since the report to Council in November, the provisional local government settlement has been announced, with Merthyr Tydfil receiving an uplift of 3.1% compared with the previously forecast 2.3%. And so work is ongoing to understand the implications this has on our 26-27 budget. As this work continues, I welcome any input from the committee as we move forward with consultation and engagement to ensure that our budget strategy is robust, sustainable and aligned with the Council's priorities. Thank you.
Thank you, Anna. Right, we'll go through the report again, page by page, and indicate if you wish to ask a question. Page 113, page 114, page 115, 116, 117, 118, 119, 120, 121, 122, 123, 124, 125, 126, 127, 128, 129. No questions? No questions?
I have a question, Chair.
Sorry? Oh, yes.
I have a question.
All right. And you first, Councillor Hughes, and then Councillor Thomas. Councillor Hughes.
Chair. I wonder if anybody could tell me, with the extra money that the Welsh Government have received through the budget, have we lobbied Welsh Government to get any money for the local authority?
Thanks. In terms of Welsh Government finances and any additional monies that flows through to Welsh Government, I think this year, Councillor Hughes, is a very clear ask from the WLGA, which obviously represents Merthyr Tydfil and all local authorities across Wales, to Welsh Government, that the settlement that we need to meet demands across local government is an average of 4% provisional settlement. Obviously, we don't have that as yet, so although our figure is higher than expected, the ask from WLGA is to get more towards that 4% figure as an average across Wales. So that work and lobbying is ongoing.
Yeah, because, you know, during the budget, we said that Wales would receive an extra 500 and something £1 million. So I wondered, is any of that come to local authorities, or is it going to be spent on else or other things?
So just for information, the final Welsh Government budget is going to be in January. So we'll have more detail on the final figure and how that impacts on us in local authorities. But yeah, absolutely, there's a clear ask from local government to Welsh Government about the funding we require.
Thank you, Anna. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thanks, Anna. Councillor Geraint-Thomas.
Yeah, just to be clear, Chair, in pounds, shillings and pence, that increase from 2.3 to 3.1 and 0.8%, how much is that in millions, please, Anna? Or Craig?
I'll pick that up, Chair. It equates just over 1.5 million more than what is in that report, Councillor Thomas. 1.5 million.
Okay, Councillor Thomas. Okay, right. David Chaplin.
Thank you, Chair. On 3.15 under energy, it mentions there will be a need to have a proactive plan for mitigating actions. It says there's need to have this plan. Is this plan being drawn up?
Who's going to answer that?
Thank you for the question. Yes, we've got an energy team within the local authority who works with all service areas and building managers with regards to managing energy usage to have the optimization around that. So yeah, we have got an energy plan which we work with our service areas with to deliver.
Yeah, you purchase your energy via Crown Commercial Services. Obviously, currently, if you look this year, wholesale gas prices have fallen. Are there many contracts up for renewal and opportunities to reduce some contracts?
I think as is picked up in the next paragraph 3.15.2, we move into laser from April 2027, and they will run then their work purchasing of energy.
Yeah, that's in 2027. I'm talking about now. Obviously, gas prices have fallen this year. Are there any contracts on the horizon now with the opportunity to reduce prices?
All contracts are being looked at, but as I say, through the CCS, that's where we purchase our energy through that usage. But I'm more than happy to come back to you with regards to that on the specifics via consultation with the energy team.
Right. CCS will have a list of all the contracts and when they're due and tender them for you?
Yeah.
Okay, and you would know whether you're actually benefiting reductions or increases at the renewal point?
Is there a response to that?
With regards, sorry, I thought that was a comment.
No. Yeah, you obviously are you monitoring that to calculate whether there are reductions or increases at renewal points?
We will calculate that, and that'll be the uplift that will be applied then, or deflation applied to the budgets for energy in the various service areas.
So just go back to, so are you budgeting this year for energies to rise or fall?
That is being uplifted at the moment.
Okay,
so we will continue to review those.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Right. Are there any other questions on this updated report? Councillor David Chaplin, you've got your hand up.
Sorry, Chair, I need to put it down, thank you.
Oh, okay. Councillor Geraint-Thomas.
Thanks, Chair. I think, for me, I think we spoke about this in the GAC meeting when we saw that graph for the first time with the cost of borrowing, which is going to go up sharply. So, over the next few years, it's going to go up £6-7 million a year, the cost of borrowing. So, Craig, how are we going to deal with that, that stark rise in borrowing costs from the revenue fund?
That will be factored into our medium-term financial planning with regards to the budget gap that we will project over the course of that medium-term financial plan. I say that is historic borrowing that we have to finance. So there will have to be choices made with regards to how that is going to be funded and what are the reductions in budgets would have to be applied in order to bring a balanced budget through to Council for approval.
Right. Okay. Any other questions on this report? No, I can't see anybody else want to ask a question. Any comments? Page 130 to 130. No comments. There are no comments. I take it back to the recommendation on page 113, and that is to note the details of the report. For those happy to accept the recommendation, please vote no. Thank you. And those against, you need to put your hands down. Anyone against? Any abstentions? No, that recommendation is carried. We now go on to item 5. That's the budget 2026-27, a medium-term financial plan update report. Sorry, losing myself. I think we've finished all of that now. The next item on the agenda is any other business deemed urgent by the chair. I have none. Can I thank you all very much for your attendance, and I declare the meeting closed. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair.
Chair.
Thank you,
Chair.
Claire.